Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead. We're going to talk about the brand new series, Into the Future. The future starts here, whatever it's going to be called. We don't know what it's going to be called, but definitely we got some thoughts, some predictions, some insight into it. We're going to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con 2020. We got dates released. Before we get too far into this stream, let me give a special shout out to all the patrons. You can see them right there. Thanks for everything that you guys do. And also, we got a good group tonight, so I'm ready to unlock some of the ideas that are out there. I know in Monday night stream we talked about some possibilities, and I saw Ellis Smith talking about it just a little bit ago. I wouldn't be surprised if this has a whole different wrinkle that appeals to a different audience. And I don't know if it's going to be as bold as anime or there's going to be some of that, but the concept art is really, really interesting to me and how they're playing this. I know the other night we talked about like a AHA video, Take On Me. But if not, we certainly got a lot of story that I think people can latch on to with this. I'd love to see it kind of just implement a little bit of the pages of a comic or something along the lines, just sort of give you a little bit of that break. Kimberly M., what's up, Kimberly? Says, super chatting it. Hello, family, mods, and kills. Hello, Kimberly. Thank you for being here. It is Wednesday night, so we're the middle of the week. You guys know that we got no streams Tuesday, Thursday, but we are going to ramp up. We're going to give away a few kills coins, maybe even some super kills coins tonight for some really, really bold predictions, some good ideas. I'm going to start out by, I know a lot of you have been sending me messages. Do we feel pretty comfortable that this group is a post-Commonwealth group? That this is a group that actually lived inside the walls of the Commonwealth, and it was time to move on. It was time for a little bit of adventure. Maybe they took off. They certainly are not your average group that doesn't know how to fight, doesn't know how to take care of themselves. So I think they got a lot of training. Even the weapons here are very, very interesting. That some of the weapons are as big as the people carrying the weapons. So we think it is. So it looks like if we can kind of grasp some of the timetables, we've got the core franchise, Walking Dead TV show, and we know that's where we left it when Rick was there is right about the time of Fear the Walking Dead. So now they fast forward 7 years, and then we got the movie, and the movie's going to be filling in some of the blanks of that 7 years. But now we've got this show, which could be another, 7, 8, 10 years after the second time skip. So this could be another, 10 years after the Whisperer War. So some good possibilities here. Maybe even longer, maybe 15 years. If they grew up and were born inside the walls in the Commonwealth, then if they're 16, 17, 18, then, wow, that's a real start of another generation. And the time skips are going to get really, really confusing. So we got the Walking Dead universe is not going anywhere anytime soon. So let me switch gears just a little bit. I know we're going to talk about the new series, but this is, Wednesday night, we like to encompass all of the universe, whether it's Fear, whether it's The Walking Dead. And we do have to talk about San Diego Comic-Con 2020. Many of you are going to be there. I'm going to be there. The dates that are announced are July 23rd of next year to July 26th. So you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's like a preview on Wednesday night if you get there a little bit early. Hotels are booking relatively fast. So you might want to go ahead and start making a little bit of plans. Now, look, there'll be some lotteries. There'll be some different events. But you've got hotels that are literally 300 feet away from the San Diego Convention Center that are already going for $700, $800, $900 a night that are normally $300 a night. So definitely get out there, start doing your surfing, get ready, because you want to make sure that you got a place to stay and you don't have to commute all the way down from Oregon, because it's not going to be a fun drive a couple states down. Yeah, I would strongly suggest, Wilson, to start looking into that. Keep in mind, everybody, San Diego Comic-Con is no joke. This is This is the world standard. So, some people that are probably getting them and then holding them for other people, booking well in advance. But now that it's announced, we know the date, just be ready to go. And we are going to do, as we get closer and closer, I'll send out some information as we know who all is going to be there. We are going to do a 999 event. Hopefully you guys are excited about that. It'll be a dinner or, just a kind of a meet and greet, something along those lines. But looking forward to at least spending an evening and hanging out with many of you. And hopefully, if you're on the fence, hopefully something happens over the next couple months. It'll really, really make you want to go. I mean, it's a great time. If you thought San Diego Comic-Con was good this year, next year is going to be amazing because we're going to have the Rick Grimes movie. We're going to have a brand new series. I mean, think about all that Walking Dead content that's going to be out there. All right, so let's funnel down just a little bit. We'll talk about the new series, and what's nice about these streams now, especially on Wednesdays, is we can sort of pick which series we want to talk about because there's enough action to go around. It's going to last us the whole year. But this is the most current information that's out there, and we are going into the future. One dude's a big boy. That is certainly the Abraham of the group. I don't want to mess with him, but cool weapon there. I mean, that is I don't know. I don't even know what that weapon's called. But this looks like all the guns, the bullets, the tasers, all those things are outdated. Now it's back to handheld clubs and spears and all of these things. Good. I like that, Kim. I like to see you guys are excited for the new show. A supersonic Lucille. All right, so you know what we're going to do? I'm not going to allow supersonic Lucille, but the third person, the big dude there, whoever can give me the most creative name for that weapon, I'm going to give you a Kills coin to use in Freestyle Friday. So let's go. If you guys see something you really, really like, this is Fluff's chance to be creative. So what exactly would you call the weapon that the big dude is holding? Old Faithful, Abraham's Revenge, Thumper. I like Thumper. The Wrecking Wrench, the Hulk. Boom Boom, Big Bertha. The Heart Puller, Carjack, the Billy Bob Club, the Litchfield, a Hockey Stick, the Terminator, Gigantica. What do you guys think? Fluff, is Fluff back? I do like Edna, Lucille's ugly sister. Bam Bam. I'm going with Fluff. I think Edna. We're calling it Edna. All right. Fluff getting the first Kills coin of the night. Good stuff, everybody. Hey, we'll give away a couple more Kills coins before the end of the night. This isn't going to be a super long stream because we want to be, kind of central to everything we're doing tonight. I do want to also make an announcement that today is the last of July. So can the green team just do me one big favor and give one additional shout out to Lisa Khaleesi and also to Valar. This is their last day of being our super fan emojis, and we will mix it up tomorrow. Tomorrow, or it'll be Friday by the time you guys see it. I want to give a birthday shout out to Ron Burgundy Moore's daughter, Kayla. Happy birthday, Kayla. So I'm gonna ask the group once again, based on the concept art you see up on the screen, any chance that the concept art will be included in the actual show when it starts, or you think this is just something because they're so new, they haven't filmed it yet, and they just want to give us an idea what it is, or do you think that we could get some of these moments where I think it would be fun. I think it'd be fun just to show it the way they did in that teaser. I love the way they did the teaser. In fact, that was the part of the teaser. It wasn't what they said. It was how they kind of morphed their faces. Because when I see them talking, it looks like one of those cigarette commercials you see. You know the one I'm talking about, of why you shouldn't smoke and you quit smoking and all those things, and they kind of show the person standing there talking. They kind of filmed it like that. Well, if it's going to be futuristic, I definitely think that would qualify. And I do think, as Ella said earlier, I think that's the type of thing that will pull in a younger audience. And I think Jason the Mixologist Daily, on Monday we were talking about this very topic. And Jason brought up the point, maybe this show is not meant for our demographic. And I would agree with that. I don't think it is. But it doesn't mean that our demographic won't like it. And by demographic, I mean that kind of over 30 range. It might be meant for a 15 to 25 demographic. All right, we're going to talk about all things Walking Dead. So we hit on Comic-Con. We talked about this futuristic. I'm certainly going to have to brush up on my Commonwealth. Now, if these are offspring of people that are part of the Commonwealth, and you guys know this better than I do, and this is for my education, and this is also for the education of a lot of our viewers. Would this group, has the Commonwealth changed to allow their kids the opportunity to leave? Or would this be something that would be punishable? So I want you to think about that for a second, because maybe we don't know that answer because we haven't seen it in action. But if there's a group of people, and these are like, maybe prestigious kids of some of the leaders of the Commonwealth, and they all get together, it's like, you know what? Peace. We're out of here. We're going to go out on our own. So, okay, Walking Dead nerd. If they're not allowed to leave, what happens? Are they hunted? Are they just brought back and now they got to live their life? Are they always going to be on the run? Even if they're the kids of important people, are they put to death? I mean, these are all the questions that I think would create a pretty decent storyline. People out there looking for them, so you got, the Commonwealth looking for these people that got away, and then you got them trying to survive with the walkers as well. Willa Bill thinks that they are sent out on missions. I mean, if they were hunted, that would give us a consistent element of danger. So, we always know there's new experiences and new things they're going to discover, but just as soon as you think that everything's okay, then somebody's creeping over your shoulder. So here's the problem. And I don't want to dwell on the realism of a fake show. I mean, there's no such things as zombies. What? There's no walkers, there's no zombies? But the small details that you have to talk about, right? I mean, this group is out there. The other groups survive because they have plants and they grow things and they have a society. So if you got a group of renegade kids that are out there and they have some rations, where are they going to get all this food? Where are they going to get all this clean water? And I mean, I think that's a huge issue. I think it's something that we have to talk about, because in order to survive in this day and age, and to escape the apocalypse, you've got to be receptive to the apocalypse. You got to know your limitations. You got to know you can't stray off too far. Now, when Morgan went down to Georgia, when Dwight went down to Georgia and ultimately to Texas, at this point in time, it's probably, what would you guys safely say, 20 years? This is 20 years later? So when Morgan and Dwight were making their way down there, look, they walk a little bit, they find a car, they got gas. Well, Tom, I don't think it can be 10 years, because this group says they grew up behind the walls. So if this group grew up behind the walls, it means that they're at least 15, 16, 17 years old. And that's not even taking into account the Rick time skip. So when Morgan and Dwight both left around that time, Rick's not even captured. So then if you fast forward another 7 years just to get to the Whisperer War, and then you get Commonwealth after that, yeah, you got to be probably at least 20 years. And the point I want to make about the future is Morgan's down on his way. He gets tired. He just, goes over, grabs some food. We got Fluff the Flamethrower super chat, and it says, if they have Negan do a cameo, he would be legitimately old enough to be wearing shitting pants. That is true. I mean, this is going to put, this is probably legitimately old enough that Rick is not a factor anymore. Especially if Rick were to die in the movies over that 7-year time period. So add another 25 years to Rick Grimes. And I think it's brilliant. I think if this is 20 years past the Whisperer War, Rick is probably 70 or dead. Now, here's my question. I got several questions. Be prepared tonight. Do me a favor and type how many people, since we've watched The Walking Dead, you've seen that you thought were 70 or older. How many people you've seen on The Walking Dead that was age 70 or older? Maybe Herschel. Okay, so if we funnel this down, I need everybody to put your funneling hats on, everybody. It stands to reason the lifespan in a zombie apocalypse is not very high. So the odds of people living when they're 70, 75, or 80 are almost zero. And we know, and we know Dale and Herschel are both dead, right? Their characters are gone. So Marcia's like, it's getting sad, but it's the reality of a zombie apocalypse. You can't be Rick Grimes at 75. You can't be Rick Grimes at 80. People die. Either somebody kills you, like in the comic book, somebody walked up and jacked Rick, right? Or you just can't fight at the same level you could when you were 25, 30, 40. Now, if June Smith was here, she'd say, Rick's the exception. Rick's going to be 99 years old. He's the Tom Brady of the zombie apocalypse. He's going to keep playing forever. Right, well, there you go. Deidre Perkins just typed that for June Smith. Living vicariously through June. Rick would still be a badass at 70. Not if somebody shoots him, Deidre. But it doesn't matter if Rick's the exception. It doesn't matter if Rick is strong enough to do it if somebody else kills Rick, right? Will the Bill, do you think it's possible that the name of these kids will be in the Rick movie and the show will bounce off of it? Can't explain what I'm trying to say. Will, if you don't know what you're trying to say, how am I supposed to know what the hell you're trying to say? I'm not a mind reader. There's a lot of things I do well. I'll try it again. Do I think it's possible that the name of these kids will be in the Rick Grimes movie and this show will the movie make reference to some of these kids? I don't think it's going to go down like that. What I think is the show will reference the movie at some points, indirectly. And this is what I mean by that. I think Rick at some point will have interaction with the parents of these kids in the movie. And then later on during the TV series, we might find out like, oh, Rick's, the guy that was fighting with Rick, oh, that's Huck's dad. Something like that. Is that what you're trying to maybe insinuate? So I think it's like vice versa. I don't think the movie will, I don't think the show will catapult the movie. I think the movie will have some indirect references to the show or be used. You're getting this whole central universe. So here's kind of what I mean by that. And as we said with the timetable, there's two big points that I want to make. Number one is the resources that these kids have. They don't have them 20 years later. We already saw from Fear the Walking Dead, believe it or not, gasoline goes bad. So they're just not going to be able to hotwire any car that they run across. Maybe you can hotwire a car a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, but Fear the Walking Dead is starting to show us like, no, 20 years, you ain't driving that car. All right, that's number one. Number two, Morgan gets a little tired. He can always pop in. There's always a supermarket, grocery store. There's a can of Beanie Weenies there, some sardines, something. 20 years down the road, I don't think the canned food's good anymore. Number two, I don't think it's there anymore. And I don't think the Commonwealth has suddenly got this change of heart where they're like Morgan's group and they're saying, you know what, let's just go restock all the grocery stores. And that way if somebody happens to be walking along, they can jump in here and get some Beanie Weenies. I don't think that that's their purpose. I think they're trying to consolidate, not give back to the communities. What's amazing to me is Morgan's group is. So when we talk about the sanctity of society and rebuilding, and a lot of people bash what Morgan and Alicia and all those people are doing, that's exactly why they're doing it. They're doing it for the next person to survive and to keep society going on and on and on, not consolidating but expanding it. So I think that's the number one sticking point. The second sticking point I want to make of why I think this is happening 20 years later. Because I don't think they want people waiting for Rick Grimes to show up on this show and salvage this show. I think it'll be a very, very vague reference, but fear was forced into doing it. They had to do it. They wanted to become their own show, completely independent of The Walking Dead. And what did they do? They started crossing over characters. They realized that the best opportunity they had to grow fear was to partner with The Walking Dead. This show, I think, is going to be so far advanced that, and that's a good point, Robin, could we see a future Judith? Could we see a future baby Herschel? Gracie? RJ? Those are the things that RJ, I think, would definitely be a strong possibility. If Michonne hits the road and this show lasts to season 2, could you imagine a grown-up RJ? Forget a 70-year-old Rick Grimes being a badass. How about a 25-year-old RJ being a badass? Or what if RJ drinks the Kool-Aid? What if these guys escape and RJ is the one that has to go back and track them down? I mean, wouldn't that be like a nice fugitive episode? You got Huck and Silas and Hope and all of them out there, and it's like, please pull over. This is RJ. You know, it's like somebody on a megaphone hunting you down, and it's RJ freaking Grimes. That needs to happen. That they need to write that into the storyline right now. Please put down Edna and pull your horse over to the right. I mean, that's what RJ's going to come looking for you if you violate the laws. I mean, what if Commonwealth took RJ under their wing and he grew up there? Not a bold prediction I want to make. And you know why? Because the crowd doesn't like it. I would love it. I would love RJ to become a freaking villain. You know, we have this whole Grimes bloodline that goes down. It's like, well Rick and Carl and Michonne and why can't we make RJ like not like Negan, but why can't we make him like an enforcer for the Commonwealth? Mix it up a little bit. Stop catering just to what the audience wants. I agree, Tay. Why not baby Herschel? And I mean, the first girl they showed in the teaser, if Rosita had a daughter, I mean, could that not be Rosita's daughter? I'm just saying. There's some similarities there. But that would be really cool. You know, Rosita's got a 17-year-old daughter, and then we could kind of, hey, it's 17 years later. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of kids running around now. You got Jerry's, you got Rosita's, you got, Judith, RJ, Gracie, a ton of them. Yeah, and I'd love to see some of the, some of the outfits or some of the hints dropped. EB72, good evening, Army. Sorry I'm late. That's all right. Better late than never. So, I think the crowd is hungry for Easter eggs, and the writers should know that by now. When we get hints, we get clues, we go crazy with it because we like to find them ourselves. So you take this brand new series, and we know we assume it's going to be somewhere between 15 and 25 years later. There has to be a connection to our group one way or another. A faint reference, or even better. Oh, I got it. What if instead of RJ? All right, I got a villain. I got a villain for this TV show already. You guys want to know who it is? I'm going to give a super kills coin to the first person that can guess what I'm thinking. Who would be the best villain in the new Walking Dead TV series? Not Herschel. There it is. Dead Shred 65, first person. Gage. Why not make Gage the villain? Dead Shred, you got it. You typed it first. Kel, make sure we add him to the ledger. I mean, wouldn't that be great? If Gage, the person, he survived it somehow. He snuck out. He didn't stick around for the Whisperer War. Made it to Commonwealth. Whimpering, sniveling little punk kid. And then found a home. They trained him. Marvelous one. Who the hell is Gage? Gage is the one that was instigating Lydia. And the Henry Lydia situation. So imagine a 40-year-old Gage as like the new Negan on the TV show. And I already got it. So I'm going to give another kills coin to the person. There's a person that looks like an adult version of Gage. And if you can tell me who that person is, and that would be my ultimate villain, I'm going to give you another kills coin. All right. I'm on fire tonight. You're going to have to think into this one. Who would be the adult that could play a villainous Gage? The actor, the adult actor. Not William H. Macy, not Ryan Reynolds. Not Jason Statham. Not Brad Pitt. There it is. Roxanne Dunlap. Absolutely. Harry Connick Jr. would be like the perfect adult Gage. That's the person I was thinking. There you go. Roxanne Dunlap is the winner. Put a picture of them side by side. That is Gage in like 20 years. All right, we've given away 3 tonight. Not Gary Busey. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna make Gage the villain, and Harry Connick Jr. is the perfect person to portray that role. Yeah, if you guys have not seen Copycat, how many people have seen the movie Copycat? Just a quick show of hands. If you've not seen the movie Copycat, your homework is to watch that movie before next week. That's your homework assignment. Just check it out. And you'll see the tie-in. You'll see the relation. if you've just seen him on American Idol, or you've just heard his music and know he's from New Orleans and listen to his Christmas songs, yeah, you don't get it. But if you've seen that movie, you'll see like he could be a creepy villain. Yeah, it was a good movie. So, Kel, I hope you're keeping up, man. We're giving away all kind of Kills coins tonight. So, we've already planned out the next generation. We got heroes, we got villains, we got a storyline, we got crazy walkers, we got a lack of food, we got the Commonwealth chasing them down. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to just ask this question. Be honest. How many of you think this series will be better than Fear the Walking Dead? I can't believe I just asked that question. I got to know though. I got to know from what you guys have seen, what you think the story is. I think it's going to be better. Obviously nothing's going to touch The Walking Dead. I think this is going to be the second best in the franchise. And here's why. They've had so much time to analyze what we like and what we don't like, and the characters and the development and the story, and now you've got 3 different timelines all working together. I think it's going to be better. I think it'll be fast-paced. And for the very reason I just asked you that question. Negan said it in sarcasm and said, I'd rather plant tomatoes and bury corpses. To keep The Walking Dead real, they can't ever go too far away from housing and normal and downtime, and because we always got that in the back of our mind, right? What are they eating? Do they ever take showers? Who cut their hair? Why is she wearing nail polish? All of those things, right? But in this type of show, a futuristic type of show, where you got like these bandits and they're on the run and they kind of, eat on the run and then go out and do things and go on missions and kill stuff. I don't see this group ever kind of settling down and building up their own little society. I feel like they're going to go in and take and do things and experience, and that's going to be the story. So I will tell you, for one, I'm very excited about it. The fact that it is filming in the great state of Virginia, and that I'll be able to pop in and see those guys filming every once in a while, I think it's phenomenal. I love what the Walking Dead franchise is doing. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because I put this up there at number 2, I'm not saying that Fear the Walking Dead is not a great show. I just think this show has a bigger potential to be better than Fear. It might not be bigger, it might not have a bigger audience, but I do feel like it's going to add a different element to The Walking Dead. It is going to take us on the verge of sci-fi. A little bit like Lord of the Flies, huh? Maybe. I'll have to dig down and see the similarities to that. Well, the question is, do walkers, if you believe in any form. I'm not trying to get overly philosophical or too deep here. But if you believe in any point of evolution, right? Like, and I don't mean from one life form to another. I'm not going to go there with anybody. What I'm talking about is people getting taller. People being able to getting stronger every year or running faster. All of those things, right? That people adapt to the surroundings. I mean, there's certain fish over thousands of years, and they evolve, they change. Species do change. And is it not conceivable that over 20 some odd years that walkers are not dying out, that walkers are starting to change? Now, I don't know how, but that's a challenge for the writers. So I'm going to give away one more Kills coin. What would be a walker evolution or a different style of walker that you could see in this TV show that maybe we have never seen in The Walking Dead? And I'm going to look for some creative ideas here. Tom says reproductive walkers. Walkers using weapons. Talking. Stronger walkers. Faster, smarter. Fluff says they can speak. You know, I'm not going to go as far as to say they can speak. But learning, memory, I'm going to go with Crystal. I'm going to go with Crystal's here. And let me know if you guys agree with this. Let me make sure nobody else typed that previous to Crystal. Crystal says memory. And I'll tell you why I like her answer. And if you guys agree with that, give me a quick Kills coin. I don't think in 20 years we're going to have walkers that can talk. I don't think in 20 years we're going to have walkers that can swim. But if they show slight, like in Fear of the Walking Dead, it was a big deal to show a radioactive walker. So we know there's tests being done, and we know that different things change them. But if you could have small learning or small memory capacity, then I think that opens the door for what walkers could be in 50 years or 100 years. Now, maybe they have another series 5-6 years from now, and it's The Walking Dead 100 years later. Who knows? Maybe they turn it full sci-fi. But if there was a scene or two, and maybe it wasn't like really obvious of what they were doing, but we saw a walker and it took a certain path, and we're like, wait a minute, that walker just did that. And I think as viewers, if as viewers, we have to start paying attention. I'll give you another case in point, okay? Someone asked the other day, I think it was Tom Bug Ferreira, did a super chat. And I think it was, what are some of the most memorable walkers that you've ever seen? Some of you had answers. Some people said the nude walker. And a lot of people said the naked walker because they made such a big deal about it on Talking Dead. But other than the walker that was completely naked and the walker that we just saw that were radioactive, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've never really watched The Walking Dead just to go in and see, like, let me look at just the wonderful level of detail. Now, some of you have. For me, the walkers have always been, I don't really pay a lot of attention to them because you need to get the hell away from them. That type of thing. That's always been kind of my take of the walkers. Like, they're after you. They're dead people. You know, maybe I'll look at them and say, oh, Is that Sherry? Is that somebody that I would recognize? That's the only level of it that I've really looked at. But other than the fact that we know they're drawn to music, fire, certain things attract them. What if we have to start paying attention to Walker traits? And it's just not about where did the music come from, but they start to develop a little bit of memory. I mean, they have brains because you have to, stab them in the head to end that. Just something to kind of think of. I mean, for me, that's interesting to me. I would rather, instead of worrying about where the next apple is going to come from, I would just want to see if they start to change. Good comments. Good thoughts tonight. Walker singing Easy Street. Well, look, we could take that a step further. I mean, what's the sound a Walker makes? Can you guys type a few like Walker sounds? I mean, we've heard them from time to time. In fact, the sounds some Walkers make were very similar to Daryl's first 8 seasons of dialogue. Yeah, like, I mean, from the comics, that's what it is. And if you guys have not seen some of my comic readings, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to, to do a couple Walker sounds. But I guess once we get past memory, if we have Walkers on the new show, that could certainly start to try to communicate in some way or another. But yeah, in 20 years, there has to be a certain, that's one thing I would require a different level of realism. Walkers that can shoot. Yeah, that's a whole different element there. Well, the problem is going to be, Julia, what are they going to shoot? There's no bullets. This group doesn't even have guns. I mean, they got some cool weapons, though. Here's something I do want to make a bold prediction on. I think the weapons in this show, we already got Edna named. The weapons in this show are going to be the best we've ever seen. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. And here's why. If they've grown up in a world behind walls, and they've had blacksmiths and engineers and all, going out getting resources, then they can make some really high-tech, durable, walker-killing weapons. Not just your little, you got to make some bows because you got bows and arrows, and you got to, sharpen those things and get them ready. I think they've had time to do it, and that should be something that, I would say it would be nice if I was seeing them wear like a Commonwealth uniform, something that might prevent you from getting bitten. I don't like the concept art of no gloves and no helmets. I'd rather see helmets and gloves. I think in 20 years, you should have had enough time to do that. All right. And we've got a few more minutes. And as I said, we're going to talk about the whole Walking Dead universe. We've talked about Comic-Con. We've talked about Fear the Walking Dead. We know that we're doing Freestyle Friday night. We're going to have a lot of fun there. We've talked about Fear and the new series. Something that I want us to spend a couple minutes talking about that I am extremely excited about. And I'm zoning in on a target date, which should hopefully be January 8th, 2020. So they're several months away. And a brand new gaming concept that we want to get out there called Playing Dead Live. And the more I see this concept art, the more real it becomes to me, and what we're going to incorporate. And I know many of you have messaged me, and a lot of people want to volunteer. They want to know more details. And I'm just hashing these things out each and every day, and with live campaigning. But I am going to ask, for some involvement for the people that want to get involved. If you have a specific set of skills, that skill could be you're a graphic artist and you like doing concept art and you would like to have some of your art included. If you're a writer and you like to write interesting stories and you have a scenario that you think would be something that would tie in really, really good to gameplay, send me that information and we'll try to get incorporated. There's a couple ground rules. One, it can have no likeness to the Walking Dead characters, so it has to be something very unique. Don't download it off Google and then take somebody else's work and then turn it into something else. If you have a desire to have your own likeness or a nickname or something you've been given in one of these streams included into one of our campaigns or one of our modules, then as we get closer and closer, it's conceivable that if we did an ocean adventure that there could be a villain out there named Ocean Man. They're going to be very unique. They're going to be fun. They're going to be lighthearted. There's a lot of things that we want to incorporate, but we're going to keep the general story, good versus evil, survival, all of the things. But the one thing the concept art is really going to do, there will be entire streams where we may show your artwork up on the stream. So like this picture up here that they've created with The Walking Dead. Obviously, Walking Dead owns those images, and we're talking about the show. But if we were doing a live campaign, you would see maps, scenarios. If you like to draw weapons and you have a zombie apocalyptic weapon that you think would be great, and you say, you know what? This is the type of thing that a character should be able to use in a zombie apocalypse. Draft it up, send it to me. And there's a possibility that I'll get your weapons idea included in this. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be modular, where it's going to consistently develop. It's not going to be something that we do January 8th and we stop. This is going to be a weekly 2-hour campaign. So there's a lot of preparation, a lot of time that goes into it. But what we're also going to do is create campaign modules where people that don't want to play live will have the opportunity to purchase a campaign module and take it with their friends and then have a gaming night on their own if they choose not to do it in the public with everyone else. So there'll be a rules compendium. There's going to be an overview. A lot of different things are going into it. So just want to give you guys a little bit more details from time to time. We'll be posting surveys on both the Facebook fan page and also the Patreon page, anywhere from the time, scenarios that are really creepy, things that you've probably seen some of them. We've already asked some questions, things that bring you luck. But we're just doing a lot of data mining just to see what is going to kind of motivate everybody and what is going to make for ultimate gameplay. So, hey, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Actually, thank you for being here every night. We got an amazing group of people. We like to immerse ourselves in The Walking Dead. Such a bright future with everything that we do. We got Freestyle Friday. We got custom streams all over the place. We're going to have our meet and greet next year, The Walking Dead movie, Fear the Walking Dead, and then our own unique gaming adventure where you'll get a chance to go over the rules. You'll know exactly how it's played, and the real goal is just for all of us to get together and have a whole lot of fun. So I'm also going to set up a Kills Council. It's going to be a group of about 4 people, and they will be game marshals. So as we're playing the game, they'll be determining, different scenarios. We'll also still be moderating because it is going to be live. But we're going to do one live. And like I said before, if you choose to play it on your own, you'll definitely have the opportunity to pick up those materials and play it with a group of friends and family. All right. Thanks, everybody. You guys are absolutely amazing. Once again, the last night of our 2 super fans, Valar and Lisa Khaleesi, if you guys could do me a favor and show their emoji one more time, because we're going to have a brand new one for Friday. Thanks to those of you that participated. We gave away, I think, 4 kills coins tonight. Final thoughts, final comments. A couple more we want to get in here. All right, let me give a shout out to the patrons. Thanks to the patrons, top left-hand corner, for everything that you guys do. Channel members, my green team, thank you so much. You guys want to become a channel member, custom emojis, all of the above. There's a join button down below. If you decide to become a Patreon, patrons are going to have, I do want to say this, patrons and channel members, and I'm not trying to skew the game, but there are going to be maybe some swag that not going to help you in the gameplay, but some different items that will be available to longtime members, some different items that will be available to people that are members of our Facebook fan page, some items will be available to Patreons, super chatters, members. We're going to do a whole different suite of items just to reward people for all the things that they do. If you support the channel through Patreon, that is phenomenal. Thank you for everything that you guys do. But also, if you're on our Facebook fan page, then we're going to give away some rewards with that as well. So everybody's going to get the opportunity to really get involved and hopefully create a unique experience. Thanks to the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tom, Mikhail, for everything that you guys do. And a big super shout out to each and every one of you guys. I'll see you all Friday night at 8 o'clock. Have a good night. Peace.